Back with another episode of What Are My Odds of Being Murdered in 10 American Cities, starting with Tallahassee, Florida. Tallahassee became the capital of Florida in 1824 and is the 8th largest city in the state. Violent crime in Tallahassee is nearly 100 times higher than that of the national average, but its murder rate is relatively low considering its size. The city saw 24 homicides in 2020 and will likely finish this year closer to 20, giving you our odds of being murdered in Tallahassee, 1 in 9,808. Lexington is the second largest city in Kentucky and 58th largest city in the United States. Your odds of being murdered there are 1 in 6,977. Killeen is the 9th most populous city in Texas and is growing at a rate of 1.62% annually. Your odds of being murdered in Killeen is 1 in 6,656. Winston-Salem, North Carolina is growing at a rate of 0.79% per year. It has a violent crime rate worse than the national average, but certainly not one of the worst major cities. Your odds of being murdered in Winston-Salem are 1 in 6,445. Pueblo, Colorado registered 16 homicides in all of 2020 and is on pace to have 27 to 28 by the end of 2022, a 57% increase. Your odds of being murdered in Pueblo is 1 in 4,033. Cincinnati is the 3rd largest city in Ohio and 66th largest in America. Your odds of being murdered this year in Cincy is around 1 in 3,946. This is about the same odds you'd get in Chicago. Saginaw, Michigan, a city with a violent crime rate 455% higher than the national average and a murder rate that rivals that of Detroit, gives you odds of 1 in 2,375 this year, much worse than Chicago. Macon, Georgia is seeing a population decline of 0.37% annually and is located about 85 miles southeast of Atlanta and is near the geographic center of the state, giving the city the nickname the Heart of Georgia. Your odds of being murdered in Macon are 1 in 2,297. Birmingham is the 3rd largest city in Alabama, behind both Huntsville and Montgomery. It has a violent crime rate nearly 400% higher than the U.S. average. In 2020, Birmingham had 88 homicides, and they aren't going to double that number this year, but it won't be for a lack of trying. Your odds of being murdered in Birmingham is 1 in 1,334. And Gary, Indiana has seen a 44% increase in homicides this year over last year. Your odds of being murdered in the 619th largest city in America is 1 in 1,147. Support this channel and pick yourself up some original crime-related apparel. Look for the link in the description.